Every time she took the subway, she would deliberately put a large amount of cash in her purse, then pretend to forget it when getting off. She would intentionally leave this designer bag on a subway seat, but this scene happened to be witnessed by Frances, who was heading home from work. She thought someone had accidentally left it there. After a moment's thought, she decided to take the purse and went to the lost and found office, but the office was already closed. With no other choice, she opened the bag and found the owner's identification inside. Early the next morning, she went to the address and knocked on the woman's door.
Here you go.
Oh, bless your heart. I've been looking everywhere. Where did you find it?
On the subway.
Seeing how kind the girl was, the woman warmly invited her inside for a cup of coffee. Without a second thought, Frances walked right into the room, little knowing that this single action would bring her utter ruin. During their conversation, Frances learned that Laura's husband had passed away years ago, and that she had been living alone ever since. Frances immediately felt a pang of sympathy for the woman, and told her she would come by often to keep her company. In the time that followed, Frances and Laura met frequently. After spending time together, they quickly became close friends who shared everything. Frances's best friend was baffled by her recent unusual behavior. After all, Laura was just a woman she'd known for a short time. How could they have become so close so quickly? The next day, Frances went to Laura's home alone to have dinner with her. To lighten the mood, Laura asked her to look for candles in the cabinet, but as soon as she opened the cabinet door, she was horrified to find many identical handbags inside, the very same model she had returned earlier. Each bag had a name tag attached to the back. Faced with such a bizarre discovery, Frances had no appetite left. After wrestling with her feelings for a long time, she finally decided to get up and leave. However, when she went to work the next day, she suddenly received countless text messages from Laura, but to her surprise, after work, as she walked into the subway, she ran into Laura again. Frightened, Frances quickly turned around and got off the train. Back at her dorm, her best friend advised her to pretend to go apologize to Laura. Once Laura forgave her, she should lie and say she was going on a vacation out of town, so she could escape Laura's clutches. So Frances took the initiative to find her, and told Laura she was leaving. To her surprise, Laura was unusually calm, and even said she looked forward to seeing her again when she returned. After saying goodbye to each other, Frances went back home. Just as she finished a sip of milk, she suddenly lost control and fell to the floor. Laura appeared by her side once more, and just like that, Frances was quickly taken back home by Laura. She vaguely saw Laura move the piano aside, and felt herself being dragged into a secret room. When she woke up again, she found herself locked inside a closet. Frances was completely overcome with despair. However, unbeknownst to her, Laura had been using Frances's phone to send text messages to her best friend, making her believe Frances was on vacation. Unable to reach his daughter, her father came to the dormitory. It wasn't until the two met that they finally realized something was wrong. Concerned for his daughter's safety, the father hurried to find a private detective. Soon, following the clues, the detective arrived at Laura's home. To avoid arousing suspicion, Laura calmly invited him into the room. Hearing voices outside, Frances kept shifting his body to make noise, and the detective outside soon noticed something was off. The detective cautiously approached to investigate, when suddenly a syringe pierced his neck. In no time, he collapsed to the ground. She then tossed the detective's body into the basement. After cleaning up the bloodstains on the floor, she boarded the subway as usual. After stuffing cash inside, she deliberately left the purse behind as she exited. Soon, another girl found it and picked it up. Shortly thereafter, she arrived at Laura's home to return the purse. Laura invited the girl in for coffee. For some reason, she suddenly spilled the coffee all over the floor. She felt dazed and her whole body went limp. Her best friend had seen through the ruse and switched the coffee beforehand. The girl finally revealed her true colors. It turned out she was Frances's best friend. Upon hearing her best friend's voice, Frances quickly shook her body to make a noise, and was soon discovered by her best friend. As for Laura, they ultimately chose to lock her in a box.